Boom.
All right, Ben. My first question is, when did you first start writing your own music?
So I first started writing my music, I guess it was junior, senior year of high school. I've played drums my whole life and I've been a drummer, but I wanted to like start making my own music and writing my own music instead of playing for other people. So when I was like a junior, sophomore, I picked up guitar and started writing my own music on like my iPhone, and it was terrible. It was really terrible. And I recorded it all into GarageBand and I would upload it to like SoundCloud, um, just to like impress girls at my school or like, just for that kind of vibe. But yeah, I guess it was just like senior year of high school I started writing music, and then from there I quickly started recording more and upgrading my production and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So drums was your first instrument?
Yeah.
What age did you pick those up?
I picked up drums at trying to think. Probably when I was like 13, 12 or 13, I started taking lessons. I actually took lessons near my house from the dad of the guitarist of My Chemical Romance, Frank Iero. His dad taught me drums when I was younger, which is cool. Fun fact.
Nice.
Yeah, he's an incredible guy, incredible drummer.
Do you remember like some of the first covers you learned on drums?
Oh yeah, it was all like power pop, like it was like Weezer, then there was some emo. Like I think it started off with Weezer and that was like when I was like, oh shit, I can start like learning drum songs on my own instead of like learning like paradiddles or like random little like drum rudiments. I was like, I can start learning like um songs on my own. So I started learning Weezer songs because they were pretty easy. A ton of Weezer, a ton of like Green Day back then. I like loved Green Day. Nirvana, just all the classics when you're that age, all the good stuff.
Nice.
Fundamental. Yeah.
Dude, and I saw too that you've been to like quite a few concerts.
Yes.
I was wondering, like, do you remember the first concert you attended?
Yeah, it was actually Weezer Panic at the Disco um with my dad and my mom when I was like probably before I even learned drums. I was probably like 10 or no. No, I was probably older. I was probably like 14, 13. Because it was the White Album for Weezer and it was the Death of a Bachelor for Panic at the Disco. They both dropped that album. They were touring together. It was great.
That's like a awesome first
Right?
concert, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. It was fun.
Um, so I know you said you started writing your own songs in high school, but do you know when you first started writing for Dead Love Triangle?
Yeah, when I was younger, it was all through I just put it out under my name, Ben Roberts. Um, and then I think I quickly realized that that was too like broad for the sound that I was trying to do. Because I was trying to do like a kind of a full band sound, but have it be under me. I wrote all the music and played everything on it and stuff, but I wanted to have like a band kind of feel. So it was just Ben Roberts with no space until like God, I think like the end of my freshman year of college, and then for the past like 2 or 3 years, it's been Dead Love Triangle. So yeah, up until like freshman year of college, it was Ben Roberts, and I kind of deleted a bunch of the stuff back then, and then I've just been uploading new stuff or re-recording stuff under the name Dead Love Triangle since.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
so you've had that project name for maybe like 3, 4 years?
yeah, yeah, like 3 years now.
Cool.
Yep.
Uh, the first song I ever listened to you by you was River Road.
Oh
And
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but was that also like your first official release under that name?
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to think. No, I think that was still under Ben Roberts at the time, and then I switched my Spotify and it transferred over. But I think that's my first song released now under Dead Love Triangle, yeah. but at the time it was released under Ben Roberts.
I apologize because I know it's kind of a like a cliche, kind of a cliche question, but
Yeah.
can you give like a little background on the name at all?
River Road or Dead Love Triangle?
Dead Love Triangle.
Dead Love Triangle. I just remember at the time I was trying to come up with something that like brought out emotion in me. And at the time, like my freshman year of college, I went to community college here in the suburbs. I'm like 40 minutes outside of Philly. So it's like super green and woodsy here. And I would like read a lot at the time and because I was like alone and like a lot of my friends were at college. So I was like kind of just here for a long time and yeah, and I just like watched a lot of movies and read a lot. And like a common trope that I loved in stories was just the dead love triangle where it's like or like a love triangle in general, but like the dead love triangle was cool. If like three people in love, one of them's dead or one of them dies or like or just a love triangle. I don't know. I just like the that like theme. It's cool.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It was inspired by reading
Yeah.
and by movies.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And I also saw you're the only one hearing this noise. It came out in March 5th, 2022 on Bandcamp.
Yes.
Do you have some memories you can share from that release?
Oh God. Trying to think. Honest, like I feel like that's such a time period that is like flown by in my head because that was my freshman year of college when I was here. Um, it's all on 4 track, I'm pretty sure. I think two of the songs were recorded on like a little digital camera. Like I literally set it up and pressed play and then just recorded it and then like did a little EQing after to make it sound cool. And the rest of it was done on a 4 track, so it was all like recorded to cassette. Um, yeah, it was just super like DIY, me being alone recording stuff, still figuring out my sound, but not being confident enough to like put it out officially at the time. But yeah, there's some songs that are dear to my heart on that project.
And yeah, I have here like two standouts. My Girl,
Mm.
the the lyrics weren't on that one, but I caught or I think I heard one lyric that says love every day till I get paid. I don't know if you I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, I think it is correct. I don't know. I was saying some crazy stuff back then. I think that song was like me kind of like talking about how I was like I wanted an audience for my music or I was like I want like an audience and I want like a meaning to this to like making songs like I want to affect people. Um so I think that kind of like tied into that a little bit.
And This Is Not My Room, that one as well. Oh, that's the one that um I was curious because you released it on that one, but you also re-released it,
Yeah.
and I was just wondering like the decision behind that.
Yeah, so I think again at the time I was still really trying to figure out my sound for like the Dead Love Triangle project because at the time I was still writing a bunch of like that kind of sadder more slow, quiet music like This Is Not My Room. And the other couple songs that are 4 tracked on that album or on that EP are they're much like slower, not like my other music. And I think at the time I was just like compiling songs into an EP instead of an album. And I just like I put out Makeout Party with that too. Um, and Makeout Party was just a song I was super proud of and I was so excited to put out, but I didn't want to put it out as a single because I had a bunch of other music. So I was like, I'll just compile a bunch of songs that I like that kind of have similar vibes and turn it into a project. So,
Oh, okay.
yep.
And also like uh a a description or like a bio that I saw accompanied with You're the Only One Hearing This Noise was that you recorded it in your car.
You're the only one hearing this noise. Yeah. Yeah, I think I did record like I recorded like 3 or 4 of those songs in my car.
Oh wow.
A lot of them,
The
like I said, I put up my camera and I would just like sit in my back seat and I would like park up. I live in like a little river town, so I'll like park up by the river and just like in high school and like my freshman year of college, I would just like set up my camera, press play, set it up on like my dashboard or some shit, and then I would just like play and have it be
wow.
like a one take kind of song instead of like a whole production thing. And that's why like on like My Girl, like you were saying, there's like the like in the chord, like there's just a weird frequency in the mix. And that's literally just like that camera that I had at the time, which broke unfortunately. But I loved that like weird frequency in it that's like so unique.
It kind of like adds it kind of adds like a ghost instrument
Yeah.
to the,
Yeah, totally. It's cool.
and then I saw Love Imitates Trees came out in August of
Yeah.
2022 as well. And the album art, um uh I believe it's a Twin Peaks reference.
Yeah. Yeah, the album art used to be like I at the time I wrote down all the lyrics on a bunch of pieces of paper and like had the cassette that I recorded all the songs onto because that was also like all recorded onto a little cassette. And it used to just be a picture of the cassette over all the lyrics, but I was like, I didn't like it anymore, so I put up like a cool photo from Twin Peaks that I liked 'cause it and just kind of resembled the vibe of the project.
Yeah, and I was also curious with that. Is the title a reference to Twin Peaks as well?
No, it's not. At the time, it was just a bunch of love songs. Like I was just like I really like romanticized love at that time and I was just like and nature and I just wanted something like I was like seeing how nature was kind of like nature and love like kind of imitate each other in some ways and they're like kind of have some like parallels that like always interested me.
Right. I
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I was just curious because I know because I love Twin Peaks too, and I know there's like a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
tree references in Twin
Yeah, there
Peaks.
are. Yeah.
And then I wrote here I abbreviated Love Imitates Trees to LIT.
Yes.
LIT
I
is an
like that. I like
album,
that.
like Travis Scott would say, it's lit.
Yes, it is lit. Lit.
Recorded on all on a 4 track about childhood, love, innocence, commitment, expectations, change, and the ways love imitates trees. That's what you
Yeah,
accompanied that with.
I stand by that 2 years later.
I also put here like a standout track that I really enjoyed from it is Canoes Unused with Muddy Stains.
Oh yeah. Thank you. That one I wrote actually down by the river and I remember I was like I saw a canoe like kind of like washed up along the like it was like along the riverside like underneath some trees. It was like washed up and I remember just like I had some weird meaning in my head which I don't even remember, but I had some like thing and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool." And I like used it as the name and wrote about it.
That's cool, man. Uh, I wrote I wrote this as one of the last questions, but I can just might as well use it now. Like with your writing, it strikes me as, poetic. And I was just curious, like when you mentioned you read a lot of books, but were you into like writing poetry or creative writing in your younger, back in
Yeah,
high school and college?
honestly not that much. Like I've never been like a too much of like a school person. Didn't like writing. I didn't like, you know what I mean, like reading or any of that kind of stuff growing up. So not really. I think that this was my own outlet of like, oh, I grew up not liking writing and reading and all this and like all the school stuff, but now I'm kind of like more interested in it like as I've grown up. So I think it was my own like path to figuring out writing and expressing myself in that way.
Yeah, that's interesting because yeah, like I said, your lyrics they they kind of remind me of like stream of consciousness kind of writing,
Yes.
and it's uh, it's inspiring for someone like me because I write songs too sometimes, but I've been trying to challenge myself lately to not rhyme too much or
Mm,
rhyme at like all the time.
yeah. Yeah, that's always weird. I go to Temple University in Philly, and I took a pop songwriting class, and I was kind of like hesitant about it going into it, but I was like, you know what, I want to see what I can learn, what I can like take away from it. And we did a whole class, one whole class about like rhyming and like I forget what it's called, like slanted rhymes, I think it's called, where you're rhyming, but you're not actually rhyme. Like you're rhyming, but it's two words that don't rhyme. Two words that sound good together but don't rhyme. And I think I do a lot of that without even realizing that I'm doing it. Like I'll rhyme like eyes with like um fuck, I don't have a good example actually, but like I'll rhyme something like two things that just like don't go together at all, but they'll like sound good together. And I think that that's the key is kind of like not overthinking it or not like trying to make direct rhymes, just trying to be like as you're writing it, like singing it to yourself and being like, "Oh, that sounds good." You know what I mean? It fits. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I find myself always just going back to my roots because I guess since I first started songwriting, it's like just always had a knack for it for rhyming,
Yeah.
and like I can't, as much as I try, I just can't let the tendencies go, and I always divulge back to it. Like even when I tell myself like, okay, all right, you got a verse so far that's not rhyming. All right, let's go. And then
Yeah.
chorus rhymes, rhyme after rhyme. I'm like, damn it.
I
Well, at
think
least like,
yeah, maybe that's just your style then, you know? Like you gotta send me some of that stuff. I want to hear it. Like maybe that's just your it's just the style. Like there's some people that do so much rhyming, but it sounds so good. You know what I mean?
and stick together, write it out. That came out last year in January, and that one I saw on your YouTube that Makeout Party is about the last American Virgin.
Yes. Yeah, it is. That was just like I was watching so many 80s movies like my freshman year of college and sophomore year of college. I was just like I took so much comfort in like the cheesy 80s like love story kind of like coming of age like heartbreak like stories. Like I just loved like the aesthetic of that. And The Last American Virgin like it's not the best movie, but it's just like it's a good vibe and I like the story and I forget who told me. Like when I was younger, like I remember someone telling me about how they used to just like write music while they were watching movies or shows and stuff, and they would like kind of like write about what was going on if it like touched them or like if they related to it. And I think at that time I was literally just watching the movie and I was like playing guitar along with it, and it just like this story kind of came out, and I was like, oh, this like sounds cool, and it's like a story that people can relate to, and I think people definitely like related to it more than I thought they would, which is cool.
Yeah, playing along to shows or movies, it is somewhat inspirational.
It is.
Uh, and the only one that I can recall myself doing that for is I don't know if you're into horror movies.
Oh yeah.
There's a Nicolas Cage horror movie called Mandy. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Is it good?
It's like psychedelic and weird
Mm.
and like over the top Nicolas
Yeah, yeah.
Cage. Like he's just psycho in it.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just, playing guitar along with it, and next thing I know, I'm just like just dribbling down some lines to it. I'm
Right.
like, what?
Yeah.
I
No,
got a
it's such
song
a
out of this.
such a cool way to write. Like I feel like not many people do that. But yeah, I'll have to watch that movie. That sounds sick. Did you see
Uh,
Longleg?
dude.
You liked
Yeah,
it?
what'd you think of it?
I thought it was so sick. I loved it. I saw it by myself though. Like I saw like a 10:30 screening for it and I went by myself, took myself out and I remember like walking out to my car afterwards and I was like, shit, dude. Like I was scared. It's freaky. Scary.
Dude, we're similar in that because I also saw it like super late screening by
Mhm.
myself, and oh
But
my gosh,
it's creepy, dude.
dude. And what sucks is my local theater, it's like
Yeah.
less than 10 minutes away from where I'm at, and there's a better theater maybe like 20 plus minutes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I just want to get it over with and watch it, so I don't see spoilers or
Yeah,
anything. So
yeah,
I'll go to the one near here, and I was like surrounded by normies, like
oh, loud
just
people.
yeah, but
Yeah.
normies in the sense that when I got out of the theater, obviously I was like just
Yeah,
processing it,
yeah,
and then some dummy behind me is like, "What the hell was even that? There was no
yeah.
spiders." I was
Yeah,
like,
that happens. That's the worst part about seeing movies with people is just like hearing their opinions afterwards when you're like, I don't care.
"Yeah, man, like why does he have to like announce it to everyone like if they care?"
Yeah, right.
He's like, "I hated that. I hate it." I'm like,
Yeah, keep it to
"No
yourself.
one asked, bro."
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, I love Long Legs, man. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of like rewatching it just because,
Yeah.
and in the better theater, so I'm not with
Yeah,
normies
right.
again.
Yeah. And it'll be later on. No one will be there. That'll be nice.
Um, and then also another standout song was Summer Scum,
Hmm.
and I was wondering, could you share also like something you remember from the writing process on those songs?
Yeah, so those couple of songs off that EP were I four tracked them all. Like I do some songs where I four track it where I'll actually only use four tracks. Like I'll do one guitar, two, one vocal, one vocal. So it'll literally just be four tracks for the whole song, and then I'll like export it. And then I do other songs where I'll do the instrumentals into a four track, and then I'll do my vocals afterwards, like digitally. And all of those songs were all just right into a four track, so they're like super like raw, and I didn't even like really mix and master them at the time, so they're just like super raw, just like straight out of the four track. And I remember those songs specifically, like "This Is Not My Room," "Angry Buzzing." Angry Buzzing, I did a little bit of digital stuff. But "This Is Not My Room" and "Summer Scum," it was totally just like I did some looper stuff in my room, and then I just like played along afterwards and would just like write the lyrics along with the whole thing. And I was like, oh, this turned out cool. Then I would film it on my laptop usually just to like I have a bunch of recordings on my laptop of like me playing them live with my looper pedal in my room, and then I would just record them all straight into the four track. Like I'd record the looper in for a really long time, and then play guitar and sing over it, and then I would just turn the looper down at the end, so you sort of have to like time it perfectly.
So
But they're
so
fun.
when you're doing the loops, do you already have some lyrics in mind, or do the lyrics come after?
The lyrics come after. I try and make cool parts. Like I'll write cool parts in my room. Like I'll just kind of play a bunch of cool guitar stuff, and then I'll try and get some chords that fit over it well, or I'll do chords without a lead, and then I'll do a lead after if needed. But once I kind of get like a progression for like a verse, chorus, maybe a bridge idea, some other stuff, I'll start writing lyrics for each part. Like I'll kind of just do a voice memo or like a laptop recording or do a little demo of me just kind of like humming a melody or like writing like a cool word that sounds cool or a cool phrase that sounds cool. Then like from there I'll be like, all right, now I gotta come up with an idea or like something that like would fit in this song and this vibe, and then I just kind of like write lyrics as it goes.
And Scream to Me, that one came out a couple months later, um, in March, and that one, I would say is probably my most played project by you so far. That's the one that I feel like it just has like a lot of good replay quality. A lot of the other stuff I go back to as well, but this one is just like It just flies by.
Yeah, thank you. That I think that's a good way to describe it. I think that album in particular it's very like easy to listen to kind of because I actually produced it with someone. I produced with my friend Simon who plays in Makeout City, if you know Makeout City.
Hmm.
Um, they're awesome, awesome band from Philly. Now they live in Brooklyn, but he hit me up one time because we both lived in the same city and he was like, "Hey, I like your music. You should come record a song with us." So I went over, did a verse that ended up turning into a song 12th Street that we have together because we recorded it. And then that night he was like, also like your music's sick. Do you want to record an album? So then we recorded that entire album, Scream to Me, in like that like fall going into the winter we recorded it and put it out. And so I think it's a really easy listenable, like it's a really easy listen. It's really absorbable. And I think that that was some of my like poppiest songwriting. Like it's very fun, but also like has a I almost like to describe it as like folky. Like some of the songs just have a very like they make sense. You know what I mean? The forms make sense, the lyrics make sense, the progressions make sense. So yeah, that makes sense.
I know you said that like you recorded with them, but did you have any other collaborative thing, like as in some of the songs maybe written by them as well?
So I wrote all the songs. I recorded a few of them on my own. Like I think One Last Waltz, um, the acoustic one, You're a Star. A few of them are recorded on my own, definitely. Like the songs towards the end of the album, It's Getting Cold, I Still Want You. I recorded on my own in my room, and then I sent to him, and then he just did a shit ton of work on his end to like make it sound good and fit that like Scream to Me sound. Um, Speaking on if he did anything, like it was more so Simon did a lot of bass on the album. Like he recorded a lot of bass and played a lot of bass on the album because I'm kind of just like I don't know, I'm not the best at bass. I don't usually have bass in my songs, but on that album specifically, like we wanted bass because it fit that like high production sound. Um, so yeah, he played a lot of bass. I think he might have done a few harmonies
Cool.
here and there hidden in the album, but no, it was mostly me.
And I was also wondering, was last year 2023 when you decided to start the Disco 2 project, and what led you to that decision?
Yeah, I started it in 2023. I'm trying to think, shit, when I started that. I think it was in the fall, like late fall, maybe early winter last year. Um, and I had so many, like the reason I started is because I had so much music just sitting around, like on my, like in my files on my laptop, like on old cassettes. Like I just had so many songs that I like were done and were completely finished, but I didn't know where to put them out because I was like, especially after putting out Scream to Me, I was like, damn, like I don't know if these songs really fit the vibe, and I don't like, you know what I mean? It's like I don't really want to have like that be under this project, so I started a project that was more like a freer outlet of music, like stuff that's just like chiller, sadder, and just like kind of doesn't fit into that Dead Love Triangle sound, because I feel like it just that's such a specific sound. I didn't want to like tarnish that vibe, I guess. Like I just kind of wanted it to be like that 80s like new wavy power pop kind of sound, dream pop, whatever you want to call it. And this stuff was more just like dry and like sad and like less absorbable. So I was like, you know what, this can stand being its own project in its own name.
Gotcha.
Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
it's funny that you were describing it that way because I wrote here Dead Love Triangle is more energetic and music that reminds me of the excitement of playing music together with friends.
Yeah,
Disco 2 is more chill and emotional. However, both projects still have obvious differences and similarities. The one similarity I can hear represented in both is your vulnerability. The listener can tell you're still being true to yourself, and I got to give you props for that.
thanks. Yeah, I think that I think that since it started, I've kind of like I've like closed that gap of it being two separate projects. Like I think especially with the next couple of albums I'm about to put out and projects I'm about to put out, it's like they're getting a lot more similar almost, which I realize, which I like. Like the newer Disco 2 album that I'm putting out soon and the new Dead Love Triangle album that I'm working on that I'm about to put out is they kind of have like a similar vibe because the new Dead Love Triangle album I'm working on, which I should have sent you before this, but I'll totally send it to you. Um it's like very it's all recorded onto a 4 track and 8 track. And the Disco 2 songs are all kind of like on an 8 track or they have like emulators that make it sound like they're recorded on an 8 track. So I think they're like getting closer. Even the songwriting is a little bit like more similar recently. So
They're like merging together, but you can
yeah.
still.
Yeah, which is exactly what I wanted.
Cool.
Yeah.
And also, so some of the songs in Disco 2, they kind of reminds me of like Sam Ray, of like Ricky Acid type stuff,
Yes.
Coma Cinema, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
So,
Ray's from Philly, I think. I think so. I could be totally wrong. I think he lives in
oh,
Philly or lived in Philly. But yeah, I totally loved the like that was definitely inspiration for me in high school when I started writing music was the oh shit, I could write stuff in my room and like put it out and like people will care about it. Like that's cool. I don't have to have a bunch of money and go to a studio. So yeah, that
right.
definitely inspires me and inspired me.
And Dead Love Triangle, there's some songs also that remind me of Alex G.
Yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of Alex G like in early high school. I saw him a few times. I think I saw him like my junior year of high school way back. Um yeah, he's great. I don't listen to a lot of Alex G anymore, but I totally was obsessed with him growing up and I loved that like you could just dig through his discography and find so many like unreleased tracks and hidden songs and like I don't know, I just love that vibe.
Yeah, that dude has like endless,
I
endless
love
stuff.
it. Yep.
I remember I saw him maybe like 10, 10 years ago. I don't know. And I chatted with him for a little bit, and I remember when
Yeah.
I saw him, he was wearing Timberlands, and I was just like, that's not what I expected, but I fucks with
Yeah,
it.
that's funny. No way.
He's a super tall dude.
Yeah, he's great. He's from Philly too.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
man! So yeah, so many great artists are from Philly. I barely found out today. I want to say that they're from Philly. I don't know if you're familiar with them. And the reason I saw this was there's a YouTube channel that I'm blanking out on, but they had like a high definition video of you guys playing
Oh,
from
Rotone.
the what?
Was it Rotone?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what it
Yes.
was. And so the next video that was queued up or like in those
Yeah.
videos that you can click on right away is like an interview of them interviewing Algernon
Yep.
Cadwallader,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like, whoa, I didn't know they're from Philly.
I have a fun fact actually. They're from so I'm back at my parents' house right now where I grew up and Algernon Cadwallader is actually from my hometown outside of Philly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm from Yardley, which is like 40 minutes outside of Philly, and their band name I think is named after the mayor of Yardley because they're all from Yardley.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
So have you ever seen them live?
I haven't seen them live, but my friends love them. Rotone is like my friends. They're my housemates that I just moved out from. But yeah, we lived with each other like all of college together, and he is obsessed with Algernon, and all of my friends are obsessed with Algernon. But I never got super into them, but they are really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like yeah, it's like I don't know. Would you call it like Midwestern emo or
Yeah, Midwest emo. Yeah.
remember I was put onto them in high school and I just remember those vocals were like, damn.
Oh yeah, no, they're so. Raw. I love that sound.
House is not a holiday. That's was that the first Disco 2 release?
Yeah, it was. First official EP I put out.
Yeah, that one I saw. It came out in August.
Oh,
Two
wow,
two
that's crazy.
standout tracks that I enjoy from it is Newest You and Lonely Graves.
Mm, yeah, thank you. Those two are yeah, they're I kind of have my timeline off. Like now you just like stun me. I'm like, damn, that did come out in August of last year. That's crazy. I thought it came out in like the middle of winter this year for some reason, but God, it's been a minute since I started that and put that out. Yeah, those songs I recorded last winter actually, like when I was in the city alone and I was just like emo as hell when I first moved to the city. I guess 2 years ago now. But I was just like super emo and I remember like over winter break I went down to Philly to like stay at my house. I lived with four people at the time and or with three people at the time. I remember I went down and none of them were there. And I just my whole house was like dark and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like write and record some songs. And both of those two songs I recorded when I was there, which is funny. I remember I was just like screaming in my kitchen, like screaming the lyrics and like recording those vocals in like the middle of my house. Like I had a whole setup in my little kitchen.
Man, something about being like alone in wintertime makes it more lonely for some reason.
Yeah, it totally does. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from South Texas.
Okay, yeah. On the East Coast, it gets crazy, like it gets freezing cold here. It snows, gets dark. It's even
I
lonelier probably.
I bet, yeah. Like it's always a scorcher here, man. Like
Mm.
you you leave the house or wherever you're at, and it's like the sun's just melting you. But
Yeah.
there's been some random winters where we have seen snow, and it's just
Yeah.
like
And
a
you guys don't,
miracle, man.
yeah, you guys don't know how to handle it, right? Like doesn't it like it kind of like fucks you guys up a little bit, right?
But it's not like pretty snow like where you
Yeah.
guys like
Like
we
brown.
yeah like
Yeah, the
ankle
snow.
level type snow
Oh,
at
no, that
best.
sucks. It's like don't even snow at that point.
So so I know you said that you wrote those songs during winter, but does 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 the weather or your environment kind of have some effect in your songwriting?
1 billion%. Yeah, like I haven't written a lot of Dead Love Triangle music in the past like good year and a half now since Scream to Me really. I've put out a few like one-off singles and I've written some stuff that I like wasn't really too confident about to put out. And this summer literally happened like right in the beginning of this summer, right? I like started coming home more back to the suburbs and I was like, damn, it feels like I'm in high school again because I'm like home in the suburbs and it's like nice out and like my town is like super pretty. So I was just kind of like driving around and biking around and I was like, damn, it feels like that like early high school kind of vibe. So like this summer specifically, I've written so much Dead Love Triangle music, and I'm like just finishing up the album, like a comeback album right now, I guess you could call it, because it's been a minute. I'm actually going to record a music video tonight and shoot the album cover tonight, so that's exciting.
Nice. Do
Yeah.
you have do you have like a friend that helps you with that?
Yeah, I have a few. Like my one friend Orist, um, he lives near me. We met in high school and we're still super, super tight. And he does like artwork for my merch and he does like on the River Road cover, he did the little like thing in the corner. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like he just does like really cool, intense, like he does a lot of like monsters in his art and like stuff like that. Super cool. And then my friend Jack Squarey is the one who I'm shooting the music video and doing the album cover with tonight. And he's done actually, I think all of the Disco 2 album covers besides the my most recent album, Pennsylvania's Getting Pretty Again. He's done all of the other covers. That one was me. Um, so yeah, he does a lot of my stuff. Lucky to have him in my life, both of them.
That yeah, that's cool because yeah, a lot of the album arts that I've seen by you, it's like eye candy.
Yeah, yeah, I love that stuff. It means so much to me. I love like a good intense album cover, something that like makes you think, or it's like fun to look at while you're listening to the song that just fits the music. Can make or break an album or a song, you know.
It really can,
It
yeah.
can.
It's like it's got to be
Underrated.
like an attention grabber.
Yeah, it totally is. Or a keeper.
They say like don't judge a book by its cover, but I feel like more so
Sometimes you
people
gotta, yeah.
judge album covers
Yeah,
or albums with their album covers.
I totally do. I mean, if there's a great song, there's a crappy album cover, I'm sure it'll like override that. But yeah, if there's like a song and I'm like, I don't know if it's that good or not, like should I add it to my playlist or like something? Or I'm like, I don't know about that cover. Oh, I love that cover, you know?
And but then at the same time, it's like if the music is so good, it's like you sometimes you don't even have to have like a bomb ass cover.
Oh yeah, totally. I love like a chill, low key cover that you know, I love a good low key cover, something that like doesn't really mean much. It's just like kind of cool. It's just there.
Like I'll give you an example. This girl that I'm talking to, she's like kind of obsessed with that Charlie
Mm.
XCX
Yeah,
girl,
yeah,
just like a bunch of chicks.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
I took a little listen, and her album art is just green with
yeah,
brat
yeah.
on it. So
Yeah, people love it though.
yeah,
I'm kind of a sucker for it. I kind of like the aesthetic. It's cool, I must admit.
she just came out of nowhere, dude, and just blew up.
Yeah. Yeah. She's been blown up, I feel like. She just kind of this specifically was just like marketing genius.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you have been a fan of her for a bit.
Yeah, I've been a fan of her, I guess since like senior year of high school now. Not I'm definitely not a super fan, but like yeah, I know a good amount of her stuff. I love How I'm Feeling Now, her one album. That shit's awesome if you've never listened to it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just listening to some of the songs on Brad, and I was like, wow, a lot of the production is just crazy. Like you said,
Yeah.
like this
AG
aesthetic.
Cook. AG Cook produces it. Yeah, she's sick. They're both sick.
Are you also like a fan of hip hop?
Um, trying to think. I think when I was younger, I was like super into hip hop. Not so much anymore. I like some early Beastie Boys stuff. Trying to think. There's nothing off the top of my head, but there's definitely some stuff that I like earlier in my songwriting I was like super into.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to like um bounce around on genres.
Oh yeah. I've been in a super I've been in a heavy like pop phase this year.
Mm.
This school year specifically, or like last school year, I guess. I've been like super into like just super generic pop music, I guess, like a lot of people would call it. Like I love Taylor Swift, like Gracie Abrams. She's kind of on the come up right now. She's awesome.
Well, what are some other like bands or artists that you've been listening to recently?
Um, I guess I'll say something that inspired the new album because I've been trying to surround myself with music that like inspires the aesthetic and the sound of my new project I've been working on. And I guess the number one is Guided by Voices. I've been like so obsessed with Guided by Voices. They're fucking incredible. Just so good at the whole like DIY sound and they just have so much music out and like so much music to discover and I'm just like I want to be that, you know? It's like just the coolest thing ever. Um Growing up I was super into like Current Joys, all of Nick Radigan stuff, Alex G, like all that like super DIY stuff, Sam Ray. I loved all that. Just the super raw DIY stuff, yeah.
Um, it's funny you mentioned Nick because when I saw that video of you performing. You're playing drums and singing, and it reminded me
Yeah.
of Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a huge inspiration for me because not many people do that. So seeing him do that when I was like first like getting into songwriting stuff was definitely like, oh, I can be like a front man, but also not be the literal front man. I was like, that's pretty sick.
Drums is like the hardest instrument for me because I don't have access to it,
Yeah,
regularly.
no, it's hard like that. I know a lot of people in like certain cities have that frustration too, or that like problem where they don't really have access to like basements or like areas where you can be loud. And drum kits are just expensive in general. Like you could get a shitty guitar for cheap or for free even probably, but like and you can with drum kits too, but it's harder because drum kits like it's a lot to know. It's a lot to like understand how to set it up and to practice and to luckily my dad had a drum kit growing up, so I that's how I was able to start doing it so quickly. Like my dad just had a nice drum kit in the basement. And he didn't play that much, but it just kind of got passed down to me. And it's still my drum kit today, so
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, right? Drums is a whole beast itself. But is it is it difficult to drum and sing at the same time, or did you just find a way to have that kind of like simplified for you?
I think it was so like when I was starting to play shows, my one friend asked me to play a show, um, probably 3.5 years now. It was like our first show as Dead Love Triangle or as Ben Roberts at the time. But where was I going with this? He got me to play a show, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll play a show. Like this will be fun. I'll be able to start playing my music live. But my only like I didn't have any friends who played drums. I was the only drummer, and I've been playing drums for so long, so I'm like the best at drums now. Like I'm pretty good at drums. So I got my friend to play guitar, and then I played drums because I was like, otherwise I'm gonna play with no drums, and it's just gonna be me playing with a guitar, but I wanted drums, so I played drums and I was like, I'm gonna try singing. And I guess it was like kind of a challenge at the time, but we made it happen and it sounded pretty good. And like now it's like doing anything else, it's like second nature now. It's pretty easy because I've done it just for so long now.
Man, I wish I could relate to that, but I mean, like you said, you've been doing it for so long
Yeah. Just comes
that
to me
it's just
now, yeah.
become second nature.
Yeah, it totally does. I love how lax this interview is. I love just the chilled out vibe.
Yeah, and some of these, like obviously I have them written, but as we're talking, like
I
they're
like
just
that. Yeah.
flowing.
I could tell. I like not being like anxious and like feel like I have to like freaking
Like
compose.
be on the spot.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I like it. And these are enjoyable to listen to too. They're more enjoyable to me than like a calculated interview or
Dude, yeah, I always tell myself like try your best to ask them questions that they haven't heard or been asked before, but
yeah.
it's like it's difficult when like when we're strangers, we don't know each other,
Yeah.
but also like um the kind of like the textbook questions that I've asked, it they're still interesting for me is like, oh, when did you start playing music? Just,
Yeah, no,
some
totally.
background stuff.
It's just like a conversation of us getting to know each other. I like it.
And I just remember what I was gonna say next is
Yeah.
where I'm from is there's like a lot of Latin influence,
Yeah.
because we're real close to the Mexican border. So I always get asked, you know, like Christian, do you know how to dance? Do you like to dance? And I'm like, I suck, man. It's like I started using this answer instead of just flat out saying no. I'm like, I'm not good at it. The only uh the only time I'm good at rhythm is when I play guitar. Like
Yeah.
I
There you
I
go.
can
I think a lot of people are like that. Yeah. It's a good way to express the rhythm.
I can't keep I can't keep a beat with my feet, but I can do all right with my hands,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
guess.
Maybe it'll translate over to dancing someday.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not that it's
You
not
don't
that
like
I'm
it.
like, what do you call
Yeah.
it, dismissive of it, that I'm like, no, I no, like I'm willing to learn. It's just whenever I try to, obviously when I'm, had a couple drinks in me, I don't care,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, same here.
But when I'm like really in my head and dancing with someone, I'm like, I need to get out of here. I need to get off the dance floor.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I get that. I'm the same way where I'm like, I really wish I was like good at dancing. Like that's like sexy, you know? That's like a good, cool thing that's a good trait to have, like good at dancing. Um, that shit's hard though. It takes a certain person to be like a good suave dancer, you know?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like here it's just you see it everywhere. It's like people
Yeah.
that you wouldn't even think of either. It's like you.
Bust down a crazy move. Yeah, that's funny.
So I just kind of want to surprise people one day and just be like, you know what? Yeah, let me show you something.
That'd be awesome. I wish.
We talked about A House Is Not a Holiday. Oh, Kiss You Clean was the
Yeah.
next release I saw.
Yeah, Kiss You Clean, I don't even know where to start with that. Kiss You Clean was kind of like I think I was at a weird time of songwriting because it was like my first time really writing an album while I was like I don't know, like I didn't really have a lot to write about, I think. Like I was in a really happy place. I was with my girlfriend, and still am with my girlfriend, but like I was like, you know what I mean? I was like with my girlfriend, I was in the city and I was just kind of like happy. It was just like a good time, but I was also really stressed out about certain things. Like I was stressed out about just like what the future held for me with living and like how I was gonna live in my 20s and stuff. Just like really nerve-wrack. Like I think it's a really hard age, like trying to navigate your 20s. Like I'm only 21 now. Um, and I feel like it's the most stress and the most like questioning I've ever done to myself. And I think that album was kind of like half of it was me expressing my love and my comfort of being in a loving relationship with my girlfriend, and then the other half was kind of like, damn, but I'm also like really fucking nervous and like really scared of like what's to come and like um what I've like lot like what won't come back or what, you know what I mean? Just like things that are like nerve-wracking in your 20s growing up.
It's good that, like you said, you have kind of like both sides. The obvious good, of being in a stable relationship, but also, you know, becoming a young man and faced with like a bunch of
Yeah.
new realities and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not always as simple as every time you think something's gonna be okay and you think that it'll all be fine. Some bullshit comes up. You know what I mean? I mean like you could be on have $1 million and be on vacation, but you'd be like, damn, there's something that's stressing me out. Like I have to do something a month from now or you know what I mean? That shit I think like sucks, but also drives it makes the good times better, you know?
Yeah,
And it
for
drives like
sure.
even some of my songwriting.
And uh, the, what you said right now also reminded me of last year. I had a song similar to what you were saying, that like, you know, uh, stuff is going good. Like you're in a good state of mind.
Yeah.
And I remember I was with, I was talking with this girl. I was really happy with her.
Yeah.
My only complaint would be like my job. I was working night shift, but other than that, it was like
It's great.
I didn't have much to complain about.
But there's
And
always something to complain about. You know? There always is.
no, but I remember I hadn't played guitar or written anything for a minute, and I remember the first chords I started playing, I just started singing random stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, let me." And then I wrote it on paper, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on with you, man? Like, what is this? Like." This sounds
Yeah, I've
sad
done
as
that.
hell.
I've done that far too many times, bro. I feel that. That happens when you write some shit and you're like, I didn't even know that could come out of me. Like what?
Yeah, where did this come from?
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
And I've talked about this before, and it's like, who knows where it comes from, right? We're kind of like satellites. We're just picking up the
Yeah.
information around us,
Yeah.
and we're just storing this for our own usage. And I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. I mean, I'm still proud and fond of the lyrics, but it's just one of those
You're like, if someone
damn
hears
man, like
this, they're gonna be like worried. Yeah.
the what?
You're like, if someone hears this, they're gonna be like worried.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done that a billion times. Where I'm like, damn, like, I don't. This isn't like a wake up call, but like, this is some deep ass shit, you know? It
And
happens.
yeah, it's just it's funny to me because this is me all the time, even when like life is really kicking me in the nuts. It's like I still want to smile and make
Yeah,
people
same
laugh,
here.
just want to be in
Totally.
a good attitude for the most part.
I
But
love.
then when I get to playing stuff, I'm like, I guess sad is all I know. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I think actually it's funny that we got into this conversation from the Kiss You Clean album because I think that that album was literally that. Like it was like damn, like how do I write a song about being happy and being in love? Like it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? Like I feel like growing up in especially like in high school and like early college, it was always like writing songs about being like heartbroken because I was like navigating love and navigating like myself and my feelings. And I think it's like, oh shit, now I'm happy. Like writing a real love song, not a heartbreak song, is like two different emotions and it's two different things. You know what I mean? Like so I think it was a little bit of both with that album. It was kind of tricky, but I think it came out and like has such a unique theme throughout the album and a unique like vibe that's hard to it was hard to calculate, but it really did come together. Like I think that's one of my most cohesive projects.
Yeah. And I remember um talking with this other artist that um he got discouraged, or he was kind of like turned off by realizing that a lot of his songs have love in it, the word love. And so I thought of it too. I'm like, wow, it is really easy to sing and write about when you're in it, and
Yeah.
even afterwards, obviously you're gonna want to uh, use your music as therapy for like a lost love or stuff.
Yeah, I think it's easier to write after love than during love. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's only so many songs you could write about like loving someone, I feel
Yeah.
like emotional songs at least because I like we were talking about I like writing emotional stuff so there's only so many songs you could write about loving someone that's really like sad and deep and makes your heart like yearn but I think afterwards it's a lot easier to write those songs but keep going, sorry.
No, I'm agreeing with you for sure because that tends to be that's like kind of my tendency too, is like, oh, she's gone, or it's like it's the typical like boy meets girl,
Yeah.
girl leaves boy, boy is sad, boy
Yeah.
is alone, and so
Yeah.
that's kind of my
Growing
recurring
up.
theme.
Yeah, totally. I think that's such a like fun theme to write and to hear about, you know what I mean? Like yearning is the craziest like emotion to me. Like yearning is just such a strong emotion to even hear about. Like hearing someone talk about how they yearned or how they're yearning for someone is such a heart-wrenching like emotion to feel.
And so I I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know how to say this. It's like I don't I don't write, like how you said, I don't write songs while I'm infatuated for someone. It's always
Yeah,
after.
exactly.
But obviously they do inspire me as I'm
Oh,
as I'm with
totally.
them, but I just can't for some reason. I don't know. I
I
don't
know
know
what
if
you're
it's
saying, where it's like it's not a bad thing that you're not writing about someone because you don't love them or something. It's like just an easier thing to write about when someone's gone. Like when you're happy and you're satisfied, it's like it's almost like, damn, like I don't have anything to talk about. Like I'm satisfied, I'm happy. And then once it's gone, it's like, oh shit, now I have a billion emotions and my like brain is like fucking on fire. You know what I mean? There's like,
yeah, and like so some of my songs, I try to keep it like abstract, where like obviously it is for like a girl,
yeah.
but I try to keep it not so much for a certain girl. Even I don't think I'll ever have the courage to have like someone's name in a song because I feel
Uh,
like that's
I've thought about that so many times. I'm like, it could be cool, but it's really hard to make that cool and not creepy. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to not like be kind of disrespectful by dropping someone's name in a song because it's like I don't want to bring attention to some, you know what I mean? It's just I totally agree it's a weird thing to navigate, but it could be cool if it's done calculated and done really
yeah.
right, you know?
Yeah, I'm in the middle because like I know for sure I don't see myself doing that anytime soon, but
Yeah.
I do tip my hat for like Alex G, someone that does that a
Yeah.
lot, you know. It's
But it's
like
done tastefully. Like I think it's like a certain type of person that's able to do it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people I could think of that I'm like, if you did that, that would be genuinely weird and creepy and like not cool. And then there's certain people I'm thinking like that I'm like, yeah, that would like make me cry if you like like dropped a name that would be so personal that it would make me like it would be like beautiful that you like felt like you had to drop their name, you know?
yeah, man. It's a tough one for sure because I don't know if you've heard of Jerry Paper.
No, oh wait, that sounds so familiar.
He's like this weirdo pop guy, but his music's so good. I'll send you I'll
Yeah,
send
send
you
me that.
a link.
Send me that.
So one of his songs is one of my favorite songs ever. I just love this song. It's called Gracie.
Mm.
And he, like you said, some people can get away with it. And like
It's sick
he's
as
an
fuck,
exact,
yeah.
he just sings over and over like Gracie, I love you. And like it's so, well, for me, it's so catchy.
I've never done that, and I think that's yeah, it takes some balls to do it. If it's done respectfully, I think it takes some balls to do it, you know?
I also saw We Were Kids came out December last year.
Yeah, We Were Kids was like it was kind of a funny project because it was well my old roommate Alex lived with me at that place. I lived with the three people. We had one roommate that just kept on like changing, and my first roommate there was this kid named Alex who lives in Canada now. He goes to school in Canada now, but he loved this one song I was playing in my room. It was like a looper song that I was writing, and as I was writing it, he was like, "Oh my God, I love that song," and he wanted to hear it. So I named it Alex Song. It's like the first song on that I think it's the first song on that project. It should be at least. Um, and yeah, it kind of turned into a funny joke because like at the time I was like I want to have like a granola. Like I don't know if you know the term like granola, like woodsy kind of like being like woodsy and like eating granola bars kind of thing. And it was like I wanted to have like a very like woodsy, naturey like summer at that time. So I was writing all these like folky like Lumineers type songs that were kind of like funny but like also like meant a lot to me. Um so yeah, that was just kind of me like exploring a new sound, exploring like a folkier naturey sound. And it was supposed to be an album, but I didn't write enough songs, so I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna finish this. I'm just gonna put it as an EP because it sounds strong and it's four songs that I really like.
You play on a nylon guitar.
Yep. Yeah.
On
I have I have two nylon guitars. One of them I found like I literally like my next door neighbor was throwing it out, so I took his like a couple years ago. Then the other one my brother gave me and asked me to retune it for his friend, and then just never took it back. Or maybe it was for him, and then he got a new one, so he just never took it back. So now I have two nylon strings. The one I keep here, nylon string guitars, one I keep here, and the other one's in the city, and that's what I recorded. I think all of those songs, besides Alex's song, all of those songs I recorded on that. Yeah.
I own one, but I never like restringed it.
I honestly I don't think I've restrung mine since neither of mine before I or since I've gotten them. I kind of like that sound though. I don't really restring my guitars often. I like a gross guitar tone, you know.
And it's like I know it's probably more difficult to restring the nylon than the
I kind of
steel.
think it's easier.
What?
I don't know, maybe. Oh no, maybe it is harder. I haven't done it in so long, but I remember doing it and being like, "Oh, that was pretty easy." And I usually don't string up my normal like electric guitars. I usually have like a friend do it or something because I'm like I'll usually restring them with friends. And they have like tools that make it go fast and stuff, and I'm like not good at it. So yeah.
I I always feel like such a poser guitarist because I mean I was in mariachi in my I
Oh, no
think
way.
junior senior year
That's awesome.
and I learned some songs but like I was always a diva when it came to like stringing a guitar. I was always like, nah, you do it. Like to anybody
Yeah,
nearby,
yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
That shit's a pain in the ass, bro. Like, come on, I'm already paying like $10 to string it up. Someone's got to do it for me now too. I feel that.
So I don't think in my, I'm 30. I don't think I've been playing guitar like 15 years,
Yeah.
never learned how to restring a nylon.
You look good for your age, I must say.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I just turned 30 this year.
Wow.
The
Nice.
trip.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. 30's a good age, even.
21's an exciting age, man.
Yeah,
Live it up.
it's been a fun year, yeah. I'm excited for my 20s.
Yeah, and dude, and it's more impressive because you have these handful of releases at barely 21. I can just imagine like what's to come.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal. Is like I'm like I like we've talked about, I kind of want to have a discography that's just so like rich with all these different kinds of albums, and like every album has like a different meaning and a different take and a different sound, and it's all like me exploring, and I kind of just want to do that for a really long time, you know? And like just have a really deep discography online and physically too of just like music. And I think I've caught on a little audience, and I hope to do it for more people and to keep writing music and catching people's attention. It's fun, you know?
For the long game. In it for the
Yeah.
long game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not rushing it. I'm just kind of like, these things build up, like having releases and having projects. I kind of like that vibe of just having everything build up and having a ton of music out, hopefully when I'm older, shit I can show my kids and then be like, whoa, this is like a story of my dad, like these are like all these stories. That's like the coolest thing ever to me. Like,
It's
yeah.
like, Mom, Dad's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Yo, I just noticed that we're getting close to our
Yes.
time, but let me try to speed run this
Yeah,
list I compiled that I try to do with every guest.
go for it, bro.
It's like the top 10 songs that I'm really into at the moment, and also would be kind of like a dream set list to see,
Oh.
That's what I kind of take it as like if I in a if I ever find myself in Philly in a show at one of your shows, like damn, this would be like an ideal set list to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's also some songs from Disco 2 and Dead Love
Okay,
Triangle. So
cool. Yeah,
it's
yeah. I want to do a show like that soon. That's funny you say that. I want to do a show that's like hopefully when that audience combines, I'm hoping I can be like come out to a Ben Roberts show and I'll play my music, not under any name. I'll just be playing my music, whatever I feel like playing.
it's like you can also be like, any requests, and then
Yeah.
just
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, I want to do that so bad.
okay. Number 10 is One Last Waltz.
Nice. It's a fun
Oh,
song.
and I forgot to mention too, my bad. Is like as I go down the list, if you can just share like a little tidbit or
Yeah,
a little memory you have.
yeah, I'd love to. One Last Waltz. That song is about one of my friends and his ex-girlfriends. He doesn't know, so I'm not gonna say his name. Not that he would ever see this, but I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, that's about that.
Number 9, Newest You.
Yeah, I want to play that song live again. I played that song live last fall when I started doing Disco 2 shows when I put that out, and I really do want to start doing that live. I like have a physical TR-505 drum machine, which is the drum machine I used on that song, and I really want to like do a set with it, and that would be the perfect like that's like the most ideal song to do with that. So I like that you put that on there.
Number 8, and this is the one I saw you did with Makeout City,
Hmm.
12th Street.
Yeah. Um, Makeout City is playing a show with Beach Vacation, if you know them from, I think they're from Washington, or like Oregon maybe, but they're playing a show with them at World Cafe in Philadelphia, I think this fall or maybe the end of summer. And I think we might play that song live for the first time together at that show, so that'll be fun. Yeah, we've never done it before.
And also something um that I kind of heard in that song, the guitar tone, it kind of reminded me of Bedroom. I don't know if you're familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. They did most of the guitar, or like maybe even all of the guitar on that song. Like they made pretty much the whole instrumental. But you should listen to Makeout City if you haven't, because I think they like I feel like they definitely like Bedroom, and I feel like they sound a lot like Bedroom. Like they have like that similar guitar tone. Makeout City's fucking awesome. If you don't know them, you should totally listen to them.
I heard a couple of songs, but I'm gonna dive
Yeah,
deeper
you
in their
should.
stuff.
I'm sure they'd also be down for an interview if you want an interview. I'm a good dream pop band. Keep it, keep the consistency going.
Yes, yeah, bro. Um, Number 7 is I Want You Here With Me.
Yeah, that song is a fun folk song. Um, Also have never played it live. I think I would need a backup singer for that one because it's kind of like a duet, that whole song. It's like me harmonizing with myself. Fun fact, actually, I was shit-faced drunk when I recorded that song one night. And that's why the harmonies are terrible on it. They're very pitchy.
But it gave you that liquid courage.
Yeah, I kind of needed it. It was a little kind of a ballsy song to sing, so I think I needed it. And I might need to be shit-faced drunk when you tell me to play that song only 3 songs into the set or 4 songs into the set.
To tap into that feel again of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
recording.
Confidence.
Number 6, River Road.
River Road was probably the first Dead Love Triangle song I ever played live, actually. I played that with my friend Jason at this like old barn we used to play. Like we used to drive out to this I don't know if you know New Hope, PA, but we used to drive out like kind of like 20 minutes from New Hope. There was a barn in like these farmlands, and we would like freaking get people out there and just play shows. And I remember we played in Cable Kids together, our high school band, and then we were like, let's try playing one of your songs, like one of my songs. So he like set up all these drum machines and like synths on his computer, and then I sang it live, and it was actually terrible. It sounded terrible. Um But it was fun, and I think that gave me again, it gave me the courage to do the next show. You know what I mean? Like you got to start somewhere, and I think I was putting it off, so that song holds a special place in my heart. Yeah.
Number five is I'll Remember.
All Remember is a sad song. I actually wrote that song for my pop songwriting class, which is funny. That's like the only song that ever came out of my pop songwriting class that I was like, that's a kick-ass song. That is sad and I really like that. And I think the production on it was really like cool sound. Or not even the production, just like the way it came out, like the way it sounded when I recorded it for some reason just came out really cool. Like it has a really like tingy, like trebly guitar tone. So I'm glad you said that. That's like a deep cut, you know?
Gotta have some deep cuts too,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate it.
And then number four, opposite of a deep cut, but it's Makeout Party.
Yeah, Makeup Party, we do it every fucking show. Um, but I love playing it. Everyone always knows the words, and it's like it's just if a set's going bad, it's like, all right, guys, let's do Makeup Party. It's always good, you know. I'm definitely glad I wrote that song.
And so now currently, do you still play it on drums and singing?
Yep, still play drums and sing. I'm hoping someday to maybe once I do a more produced album with real drums, I'm hoping because all of my recording, I've never actually recorded drums before. They're all drum machines in everything I've ever recorded. So I'm hoping one day to do like an album with real drums. And I think when I do that, I don't know why, but I think I'll hopefully get a real drummer to drum on it, and then I can be an actual frontman and play guitar and sing. I think that'd be a crazy switch.
I just realized that, yeah, it's like you're you started as a drummer, but mainly have drum
Yeah.
machines in a lot
Yeah,
of your.
people laugh at that all the time, especially people who knew me, like who've known me for a long time. They're like, "Bro, come on, you're like such a good drummer, and you like, and you don't play drums on your songs." Like people get mad at me, especially people who like aren't good at drums. They're like, "You don't know how lucky you are to be good at drums," and I'm like, I've been playing a long time, you know." It's funny.
And then number three, High.
Hi, yeah, we play that at a good amount of shows. That was like the first song that me and Simon wrote for Scream to Me that we were like, this kicks ass. And he literally like he sent me a different mix for that song like every single week until like from the day we wrote it to the end of the album. Like he would send me a new mix. That song is probably the best sounding song I've ever put out. It's just like so well produced. He's such a good producer and it just sounds so radio ready and good, you know, in a good way. Because I don't usually like that for my music, but like it's very tasteful. He killed it.
Number two, Summer Scum.
Summer Scum. Yeah, we talked about that song. It's a fun song. Simple. It's just a little like little yearning song again. Yearning for someone. Um I think I wrote that like it's a long time ago I wrote that song. It's been a minute. It's a fun song.
And then number one is Broken Eyes.
Broken Eyes. That was actually the first song we wrote for Scream to Me. Um that was the first song we ever wrote or I wrote, and then it was the first song we ever recorded together. We recorded it the first night we hung out, me and Simon. And we were just like, damn, we worked together well. And then that was the kind of thing that just kicked off us recording the album together and us being so confident working together. So that song is definitely like special to me. Yeah.
There was two songs that I noticed today aren't on Spotify or Bandcamp. They're on your YouTube, or one of them's on your YouTube. Another one was uploaded by someone else, I believe, another channel. I don't know if this is the correct title though. Beach Goth One.
Surf Goth one. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I took down two of my first EPs, like my first two EPs I took down, I think like 2 or 3 months ago, and I've gotten a quadrillion messages of people being like, "Where did it go? Like, did Spotify take it down?" And I'm like, "No, I just like I don't really like associate with them anymore, I guess. Like they're just kind of like very just the recordings were kind of terrible. And I was like, it kind of takes away from the whole like vibe of having all these like cohesive, like really strong projects. I was like, these are two projects that just kind of sound like shit, you know? But I do really like the songs, and I'm starting to re-record some of those songs. Like the songwriting I definitely like, and I'm glad that people like liked at the time, but God, the production was terrible on some of them. They just sounded bad. Bad
Um,
DIY.
they sound pretty good though.
Yeah,
Wasn't like cringing at it.
yeah. I think the ones that got re-uploaded, like Surf Goth 1, Surf Goth 2, kind of sounded bad. Surf Goth 1 honestly wasn't terrible, but it was on the project with all the others, and I was still just kind of like, I don't like it anymore, that recording. But I'm working on re-recording it, and I'm working on re-recording a bunch of those old songs. It's kind of what I've been doing all summer, is just like grinding music shit in my room. I've got a whole setup here back in the suburbs, so
And then the second one I saw was Stay Cool.
stay cool. Oh, played it cool. Was it that? Wait.
Wow, so these were, I don't know if I wrote them wrong or I think that's how they were in the titles.
Oh my God, wait, there's one that might be a song by another Dead Love Triangle from years ago. I know there's one song that's like a different Dead Love Triangle. It's like someone from like old, or maybe it is played it cool. I don't know. That's funny though.
Well, how about this? Do you have a song with cool in the title?
Played it cool, yeah.
Played it cool. Okay.
Let's just say it was that. There we go. It's actually only on my YouTube, but it's coming out on my new album, so.
Oh,
And I'll send you my new album, by the way. I'll send it to you. You can let me know.
dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this up. Are there any last things you'd like to share to anyone that watches this?
Um, you stayed to the end. Thank you. New album coming out soon. Um, that was just great talking to you, man. You're a real genuine guy. I'd love to talk again sometime soon.
Oh yeah,
Or
for sure, man.
yeah,
Likewise, and
thank you.
have fun with your shoot and your you know
Yeah,
your projects
thank
with your
you.
homies.
I'll probably be in this outfit, so that'll be funny. That'll be funny that this is like before the shoot, you know what I mean? Like this is right before the shoot. So if you see an album cover like 2 years from now, you'll be like, damn, he did that right before the album cover and right before the music video day. So that'll be funny.
Hell yeah, I got like a sneak peek of what's to
Yeah,
come.
bro. Yeah, literally. That's fun.
Ben, well, yeah, man. I'll be in touch. I'll send you the link as soon as it's ready.
Oh yeah, bro. Awesome.
Have a good have a good
Take
one,
care.
man. Take care. Later.